My name is Felicia Lee-Sexton, and I am who I am without explanation, definition, apologies, nothing. You see, I am who I am. And I am here to take you on a little journey through the world of addiction, the disease of addiction and recovery. But before we get started, I want to share a few words with you. I want you to hold on tight to these words throughout this conversation. You cannot repair what you're not willing to acknowledge or accept. You cannot repair what you're not willing to acknowledge or accept. Acceptance. Last month, I did my final bodybuilding competition at 57, and I won. But that's not the story. You see, the story is I couldn't see. I needed cataract surgery, and I couldn't see me, my competitors, the judges. I couldn't see anybody. Acceptance. I had to walk strictly by faith and not by sight. So, who's an addict? Or what does an addict look like to you? Or the disease of addiction look like to you? I need you to do me a favor. I need you to close your eyes real tight. I'm waiting. Close your eyes really tight. And I need you to visualize what an addict looks like to you. Now, take a deep breath and open your eyes. You see, most of you guys thought about the person on the corner begging for change. And then some of you all even thought about that one person you do know that's addicted to drugs, while the rest of you maybe thought about that out of control drunk at the Christmas party. All those common things that you associate with addiction. But ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the addict who still suffers and is addicted to shopping, lying, adultery, gambling, sex, people, their children, and the list, as you see, goes on and on and on. But when you thought about that addict, did you see me? You see, normally, when I'm standing in front of a group of people, I'm saying, "Hi, my name is Felicia, and I am a grateful recovering addict." Let me step back here and say this again. My name is Felicia, and I am a grateful recovering addict. But today, I stand before you 26 years clean, an entrepreneur, and a pillar in my community. But now, you see, I used for over 10 years. But with the help of my family, I realized that I had a choice to make. I could either die in the horrors of my disease, or I could conquer this thing called recovery. And well, I stand up on this stage today so you know the choice that I made. I finally gave up my love-hate relationship with my drug of choice, which was cocaine. I embraced a loving relationship with myself, my higher power, and then I found freedom. But there is good news. We do recover, and there is life after addiction. Now, I could stand here and I could tell you about all the horrible things I did in my disease, but that's not important, because a disease is a disease is a disease, which means if you or anybody that you know is struggling in any area, you already know how miserable their lives are. The disease of any addiction does not discriminate against age, race, gender, financial status, how much you pray or how much you don't pray. Let me share these statistics with you, which are mind-boggling. Did you know in 1 year we had 700,000 deaths due to drug overdose? And if you watch the news like I do, you already know that there are so many companies on the hot seat with this opiate crisis. 300,000 deaths due to obesity. One word, food. And 110 million due to stress. Now I'm going to sit that there for a second. Freedom is not free. So I'm sure you're saying, okay, Miss Fee, so what do we do about this crisis? I'm real glad you asked. The first thing you need to do is you need to tell the truth. You need to tell the truth and acknowledge that you have a problem and be willing to do something about that problem. Now, that's probably the hardest thing that anybody will have to do, trust me. Because an addict, any addict, has to hit their rock bottom. Not your mama's, not the church's, their rock bottom before recovery is possible. So, you plan on living, which I hope you do. There's a few things that you need to do first. One, you need to acknowledge that you have a problem. Be willing to let yourself off the hook. Be willing to forgive yourself. Be willing to get some help. Leave room for error. Focus. Trust the process and then visualize freedom. In 2017, I wrote a book entitled From Recovery to Discovery, My Journey Through Addiction. And it was the hardest thing that I ever had to do because I had to relive all that stuff in my past. But it was the most amazing experience I ever had because I received additional spiritual freedom. And I was able to show other addicts that through misery and pain comes joy. Felicia, has to stay in the recovery process in order to recover because relapse is and will always be an option, no matter how long an addict stays clean. At 57, they tell me that I'm a fitness competitor. I own a gym and I'm an author and I'm a trainer. But my job is to stay clean, no matter what. I have to stay connected to people that are just like me, because if I don't, I'm destined to return to the horror of my disease. So I want you to remember this. An addict is not responsible for their disease, but they are responsible for their recovery. And in the process of recovery, God gives you an option or a choice. And I choose to stay clean and in the game of life. So I need everybody to repeat these words after me. I mean everybody. Acknowledgement. Plus action. Leads to freedom. My name is Felicia, and I'm an addict. Thank you.